Let's do some makeup for dummies. Sorry for calling you dumb. Today I'm gonna be chatting with you guys all about makeup brushes as I go through my normal base routine. I get questions all the time like, what brushes do you use? What are the best brushes? So I'm gonna break down all of my favorite brushes that I use to get a flawless look just for you guys so that you guys can go into 2025 looking the best that you've ever looked. I've already prepped my skin with skincare. I highly recommend prepping your skin with at least a serum and a moisturizer before you hop into makeup. If you know me, I'm not a big primer girly. I'm not sure whether I really believe in primer as a product, but definitely a serum and a moisturizer before that works for your skin type. That's what you want to use. Now today we're going to be using for the bulk of this video the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. What I love about this brush is that it is dual-ended and it is still easy to store. I know a lot of people don't like dual-ended brushes, but I keep my brushes in this little thing over here and it fits right in. But I'll pull this out. I always keep my brushes near when I'm doing my makeup. That way I'm not having to like reach over anything. But I love that it has a nice thick end for foundation that you can just quickly bounce everything in. And then it has a thinner but compact kabuki brush over on this end so that I can do my contour or my concealer or my blush. I literally could use this brush for my entire face. It's that good. But we are really going to just work this foundation right into the skin with this brush. And I like to pat my foundation in. If you like it thinner coverage, you can swipe your foundation onto your skin. That's going to give you a more thinner effect. However, for me, I love coverage. I do have a lot of pigmentation, acne, and redness on my skin. So for me, I need a little bit more full coverage. You do what works for you. Once I'm done putting on my foundation, what I love to do is go in with a dampened beauty blender and just pounce in and really blend out the foundation a little bit more. When it comes to makeup, blending is one of the most important parts to creating a nice and seamless look. So I go in with a damp beauty blender, just blend everything out and make sure I'm getting a nice airbrushed look. Now, when it comes to concealer, I will do either one of two things depending on the day. If I'm in a rush, I'll honestly go in and use my dampened beauty blender just to blend out the concealer. But if I am going out to per se like Miami or a nice dinner, I'll always go in with a brush to blend in my concealer after I let it sit for about 30 seconds, which is what I did today and what I'm going to do. But the reason why I do that is because I really like a full coverage concealer if I'm going out on the town. I am going to be using the other side of the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. But another example of a brush that you could use, this is a Morphe brush. It is just a nice compact brush that you can really get into the nook and cranny. You really just want a brush that's small enough that will fit underneath your eye. And I prefer a nice compact brush. I'm going to go in though with the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. This fits right in here underneath my eye. And I'm going to just blend everything in. And again, what I'll do is grab a little bit of concealer on this beauty blender and add a little bit more and just kind of really blend out this under eye, make sure it's nice and seamless. I'm really doing light taps though because I don't want to pick up a lot of product. I really just want to use this as a tool to blend it out even further and create a nice blended under eye. Now, when it comes to contour and bronzing, I still use the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. You can use other brushes though that have similar effects or like heads to them, but I'm gonna go in with the shade Happy Soul. Now, I will use this brush on either side depending on the day. I will use the smaller side if I'm looking for more of a chiseled look. I will use the bigger side if I'm in a rush and just looking to bronze up my face, which I'm headed to work right now, so I am in a rush. So I'm just going to actually apply some of the product on the brush and apply it right onto the skin. A lot of people ask me why I don't just swipe it on. I just prefer putting the product onto the brush or onto a plate before applying it to my face because I get a little bit more control when it comes to how much I'm putting onto my skin. So when it comes to contouring the nose, I will switch over to a contour shade. This is the shade Bright Side. What I used earlier was the shade Happy Soul. Bright Side is a cooler toned contour, and I go in with a brush that looks like this. What you really want to use when it comes to contouring your nose or smaller areas is a nice small kind of contouring brush. This is actually used for potentially eyeshadow. What you could also do is use a brush like this that is more so made for like your lips. But just anything nice and small that you can use to contour. But I'm going to go in with this brush and just lightly work this product in and just bring it down my nose. Not a big nose contour girly, but I will just blend it out a little bit with my beauty blender. When it comes to blush, I always would recommend using a kabuki brush or a brush like this, something compact to apply it. I'm just going to work the product onto my brush again. And I really just wanted to show you guys that you do not have to go out and buy a 1,500 piece brush kit to get your makeup done. You can literally buy one brush and get your entire base routine down and use it. Now we're moving on to powder products. So when it comes to powder products and applying it, you do need a little bit more versatility when it comes to brushes. But I'm gonna go in and just set my under eyes, which I actually don't use a brush to set my under eye. I will use my dampened beauty blender. I just like the way that the beauty blender fits right under, and I feel like the dampness and the powder like really kind of works together to set your under eye. You can also use one of these situations. You can use a little powder puff. I know it's very popular right now. I actually bought these on Amazon, and you can just set here and set your under eye and work the product into your skin. When it comes to setting the rest of your face, I highly recommend using a nice big fluffy brush like this bad boy. I have an emotional attachment to this guy and he has no attachment, so just bear with me. But you do just want to use a nice big brush, and what I do is just tap it in. I don't swipe because I don't want to move my makeup, but you're just going to tap it in. I love a big fluffy brush because it covers a large surface. And it just makes your makeup powdering very easy. For for bronzing and blush powder version, I would highly recommend this brush. This is a vegan 115. This brush I use for both, like literally back to back, but we'll press some bronzer in, and this is just the perfect tool to really get into those nooks and crannies and apply bronzer and blush on your face. Again, just going in with blush, I'll tap off the excess and I'll just apply it right onto my cheeks. This is just a one-stop shop if you are needing a bronzing brush and also a blush brush. I think this is seriously like one of the best on the market. Okay, when it comes to highlighter, I would recommend the Morphe M510 brush. I love a little big fluffy brush, a big fluffy brush that will just hit the top of your cheeks like so. It's almost like a very large crease brush, but it's for your face, and it's just the best to hit some spots with some highlight. If you want to add some finishing powder, I recommend a little powder puff, and then you can press it in right underneath your eyes or wherever you need some finishing powder. But that is your makeup for dummies, how to use brushes and which brushes to use when you're doing makeup.